Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and this is a vinyl tag. I'm just starting to get to the vinyl tags now. Now my next video after this, I should return to my series where I'm going through each year and telling you my favorite album, song, movie, and TV show. But this is a vinyl tag for my friend Sam, and his channel is now Americana Sam, and that's what it is, it's Americana tag. So I wanted to get to this and let's get into his questions. First question is favorite Americana album of 2024. Now, I didn't buy a lot of new music in 2024, music that was, made and released in 2024, which that needs to be probably a New Year's resolution to buy more new music. I guess I'm always living in the past, looking for old stuff that I don't have yet. So I'll try to balance that out maybe a little bit this year. But I did buy a few, I guess, and I'm going to pick the Cactus Blossoms. This is their album, Every Time I Think About You, which is kind of a more reserved than some of their other albums. It took me a longer probably to get into this one. If you like the Everly Brothers, they got kind of that Everly Brothers sound, maybe a little bit of Nick Lowe and Chris Isaac thrown in there too. But a lot of love songs. But I've grown to really appreciate this one. There's tracks on there. And it's got a couple that I really love, and I'll talk about that in a second. But if you're really wanting to look at the Cactus Blossoms, I suggest you purchase their debut, which is You're Dreaming, which I think is their best album. But that's a great one to start off with. So the second question is a favorite Americana song of 2024. And that's why I'm keeping this album out, because this album did produce maybe my favorite song of last year, and that's Out of My Mind on Sunday by the Cactus Blossoms. So that's my answer to that question. Number 3, favorite Americana song with a banjo. And I'm going with Gregory Alan Isaacoff. This is his album, The Weatherman, and the song is, I find it on here, Suitcase Full of Sparks. Now, he's from South Africa, but now based in Boulder, Colorado. And he has played with the Colorado Symphony before, and that would be one of my ideal concerts, to see him at Red Rocks with the Colorado Symphony. I guess this is the label, but yeah. Suitcase Full of Sparks, kind of understated banjo on that, but I just like how it works. And that's going to be my pick for Americana song with a banjo. Number 4, your favorite acoustic guitar player. That was tough, but I'm going to pick Doc Watson. There he is in the middle right there. There's his son Merle right next to him, who's also a great musician as well. They often played together. This is Doc and the Boys from 1976. He was blind since birth, hails from North Carolina. Just always loved his guitar playing. So that's going to be my answer to that one. Americana album You Need to Spin Again. I'm picking Ghosts by Steve Dawson. He's a Chicago-based alt-country artist. He was in the band Dolly Varden. It didn't really hit me the first time I listened to this, and I think I've given it maybe 1 or 2 more listens. I probably needed to listen to it some more because it didn't really hit me, though. I know it was on one of the lists for the best Americana albums of 2024, so that's why I still do blind buys. I listen to it, but someone called it Vince Gill meets Lyle Lovett. I just call it more Steve Earle meets Lyle Lovett. A little more tough alt-country songs on here. Yeah, Ghosts. I'll have to give that another listen. Number 6 is the most listened to Americana artist of 2024. For me, that's probably Jason Isbell, formerly of the Drive-By Truckers. This album came out in 2023. I think it might have been my favorite album from that year. I think I picked somebody else. But it's one of the best albums. Maybe probably the best Americana album, I think, for 2023. And that's, what's the name of this album? Weather Vanes. So I listened to that. Listened to this album a lot too. The Nashville Sound. Of course, Southeastern is probably my favorite by him. Yeah, I listen to a lot of Jason Isbell, since I don't really keep track like Steve at A is for Alice, B is for Bob, or whatever his channel is called now. But I would guess Jason Isbell. Most listened to Americana album of 2024. This is probably another album from 2023 that's what I'm picking, and that's Iris DeMent, Working on a World. I don't think this ever came out on vinyl, but yeah, it kind of looks at America. There's Iris. Kind of looks at America's problems with a little hope for the future, with some hope for the future, I should say, especially working on a world I may never see. But that's probably my most listened to album last year. Number 8, show an underrated Americana album. Now I'm going to show an artist from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and that's Bap Kennedy. This is his album, Domestic Blues. I'm not sure if this was ever available on CD either. Great songs on here like Long Time Coming, Vampire, The Ghosts of Belfast. But I saw him open up for Steve Earle, and I just fell in love with his music. In fact, this album was produced by Steve Earle. He was formerly in a band called Energy Orchard, but this is his solo debut. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2016, but really highly recommend this album, Domestic Blues by Bap Kennedy. Number 9 is to show an Americana collaboration. Well, I'm picking from an album came out last year. It's by Orville Peck. It's called, what is the album? They titled this album, Stampede. His first 2 albums are just fantastic, and you should check them out. But there's the songs on here. But yeah, the whole album is a collaborative effort. He does duets with Willie Nelson, Elton John, Debbie Dawson, Beck, Noah Cyrus, Teddy Swims, Margot Price, Nathaniel Ratliff. The favorite one on here is the one he does with Molly Tuttle. So that's what I'm picking out as my favorite collaboration. Papa Was a Rodeo. That's the song I would have you go check out. All of them don't work. The one he does with Elton John doesn't really work. And Willie Nelson was kind of struggling. Well, but he was 90 years old on his one on here. But yeah, Orville Peck, the one he does, the song he does with Molly Tuttle is my favorite collaborative effort for 2024. Number 10, show a underrated Americana album by your favorite Americana artist. So I'm picking, John Prine's probably my favorite Americana artist. And I'm going to pick his album, Common Sense, which I don't know how it was received in some publications, but in AllMusic it only got 2.5 stars, and I just couldn't believe it. But yeah, the title track, Come Back to Us, Barbara Lewis, Harvey Krishna, Beauregard, Saddle in the Rain, He Was in Heaven Before He Died. Great song with some humor, one of my favorites of John Prine's. But yeah, I'm picking Common Sense by John Prine. AllMusic, who knows? Number 11, Americana album cover with a suit. So I'm going with Steve Goodman. This is his album, Words We Can Dance To. Of course, you gotta get a little extra credit. You got a bow tie on this one. Yeah, Steve Goodman, known for writing City of New Orleans, that Arlo Guthrie had a big hit with. The perfect country and western song called She Doesn't Even Call Me By My Name that David Allan Coe did. But yeah, this one has Banana Republics, which Jimmy Buffett covered. There's a couple covers on here like Tossin' and Turnin' and Billy Hill's The Glory of Love. Right, just a fine album by Steve Goodman. Death of a Salesman has a lot of humor. He liked to put a lot of humor into his songs. But yeah, Steve Goodman. Number 12, show an Americana album cover with a beard. So I am going with this Golden Messenger, and this is MC Taylor, who's basically the main guy between the kind of started out as a duo with Scott Hirsch. But yeah, he's the driving force, the main musician, the guy that writes all the songs. At least I think he writes all the songs. But this is on the Merge Records. This came out in, what year did this come out? 2021. I think the one you really need to check out is the one album called Poor Moon, which came out in 2012. That album is just unbelievable. And that's where I really got into it. This one's I'm having a harder time getting into. But this is album Quietly Blowing It. But yeah, MC Taylor on the cover there in the beard. Number 13, show 2 albums on the same label. So I'm picking 2 of the best Americana songwriters. First one is Townes Van Zandt. This is At My Window. This is actually the first Townes Van Zandt album I got. And to be honest, this was back when a lot of record stores had different people. Like they had a country guy and a jazz guy. You know, this was a big record store back in the day. It was called Penny Lane Records. But anyway, the country guy recommended this to me, and I bought it, and then I didn't really listen to it for a long time, and then finally I put it back on and just fell in love with this artist. Yeah, this is his album from 1987, At My Window, and he is on. That's what the question was about. Sugar Hill Records. Great artist. Check out Snowin' on Raton, Buckskin Stallion Blues, Catfish Song. There's some great songs on here. And another of the greatest Americana writers is Guy Clark. This is his album, Old Friends. Really great song on here is Heavy Metal, and the title track. And yes, he's on the Sugar Hill label as well. Number 14, an Americana Grail. And it would be the album Old Five and Dimers Like Me from Billy Joe Shaver. This was his, was a duo called Shaver with his son Eddie. There's Eddie Shaver and there's Billy Joe. Billy Joe Shaver that was his debut solo album, was Old Five and Dimers Like Me. It had I've Been to Georgia on a Fast Train, which I used to see BR549 play all the time. But yeah, it's hard to get that album. Came out, they did a reissue a few years ago, and I guess I never heard about it, and now even those are pretty expensive. But I'd like to pick up Old Five and Dimers Like Me from Billy Joe Shaver. That would be my Americana Grail. An Americana album you're hoping for in 2025. Well, this would be an Americana album I hope for every year, and it just hasn't happened. And it's by a guy that started out in this group called the Starkweathers. After that, he got signed to Sub Pop, and that's Mike Ireland and Holler. Just fantastic singer-songwriter, kind of alt country. Well, I would put him in the Americana vein, but yeah, this was a fantastic album, but he didn't sell much on Sub Pop, so he ended up on another label for his next album, Try Again, which is great. It got a big write-up in the No Depression magazine, but he gave up on the music business, and this came out in 2002, and he hasn't done anything since. But I always wish Mike Ireland could be coaxed out of retirement, or I don't know if it was really retirement. He just went to another field. But Mike Ireland and Holler, this is a great album. That would be an Americana artist everyone should check out. Mike Ireland and Holler, and this is his album, Try Again. But yeah, I'm wishing that he would do something new. That would be my, what is the question again? Americana album you're hoping for in 2025. We'll see. And everyone, thanks for watching, and thanks Sam for providing the tag, and hope everyone has a great 2025.